a very exciting prospect. There's a lot of work that goes behind this, and firstly, I felt like I've put Mark and Troy through an absolute ringer this off season with some of the signings and things we've had to do, and I've fully appreciated the time and the effort, of course, that they've put in an outstanding job. But now, obviously, with the next star, that circle extends out to Liam and Jeremy too, and the whole process has been real pleasant. Chatting with Bobby and his people, and dealing with the NBL on this, and painting a picture of how this is going to play out in the next 8 to 9 months. So to get this over the line with the future that he has in front of him, really exciting.
I guess, what did you see in him that made you want him to join the Taipans?
Yeah, I mean, he's the current NBA obsession, right? He's the prototype. He's a 6'10" wing that can shoot the three and defend multiple positions. We were able to show him a lot of the examples of what we did last year, our style of play, and how we plugged and played certain players, and how he would fill that role, so he could get a real good visual interpretation of what we have planned for him. But yeah, he's got so many intangibles that are going to create mismatch problems for the opposition. So to have him in our lineup alongside everyone else we've got, there's a lot of length, there's a lot of youth, and we're going to go faster, we're going to run harder, we're going to go deeper into our bench. It's going to be really fun.
Could you tell us why you explored the possibilities of the next start this year?
Why not, right? And I guess chatting with Liam, and we've always been open to it. I reckon I probably came across about 50 names, and 2 of them I really liked, and obviously Bobby was one of them. So it's a real long process. You don't mess about with going through the footage and the character checks the same way we recruit imports, the same way we recruit the local talent, and this is the same. And so there's a few more hurdles to jump through, but it's really important too, knowing that whoever we bring in has to fit that like-mindedness. And and chatting with Bobby and his family, he ticked a lot of boxes for us. And so this was the direction we wanted to go in, and to bring Bobby on now, again, it just creates a real level of enthusiasm amongst the coaching staff now to draw up a new playbook and explore some new potential half-court sets and how we'll look on defence with someone as dynamic as him.
It looks like a real fun young team. I think Taj now might be oldest on the prospective roster, and I think Ball, who just won Rookie of the Year very recently, might be second oldest. How does that make him feel?
We've still got a few more signings. We got some things that again, we got some more exciting things in the pipeline. So I think in terms of games played with me, Bull becomes the highest games played, and it's exciting. He embodies everything. We announced him, but he embodies everything that we represent in terms of playing style, work ethic, and so this is the team that best suits me, and to put forth a product on the floor that's going to have a unique synergy amongst each other and the coaching staff. Present some real cool basketball moving forward.
And where does it leave the roster? I think there's still 2 imports left, a couple of DPs, and maybe another Aussie as well potentially. Yeah, so
we'll pretty much be pulling the trigger on an import in the coming days, and then the final spots will wait till Summer League, because there's obviously some exciting talent. There's a deep free agency of players who are still available for the local side of things, so we'll make sure we do our due diligence. It was important that we wanted to get this piece done first to know what the balance of the rest of the roster is going to look like. So now with Bobby, we know we'll probably be targeting more of a forward big Summer League to fill out that last import spot. And then the Aussie is going to be best fit, best available, and again, someone that suits our identity.
Bobby reads as a natural athlete who can adapt, and he has over his career. How does that, or how do you envision this first season in the NBL and the pros? panning out for a player like him?
Yeah, I guess similarly in a sense that, the cool thing with Bobby too is he's done a year in the ACC. So, there's always, for me personally, there's always been an apprehension with the teenagers in Next Stars because, you're looking at footage and clips of those guys playing up against other teenagers who obviously aren't as physically gifted as the Next Star. But in Bobby's case, similar to Sam, he's playing out of the ACC, which is obviously one of the toughest NCAA conferences. And so knowing what he was able to do there and seeing the glimpses, opportunities that he had, and they primarily played him as a bit of a 4-3. He'll come here, play more as a 3-4, and we want to expand on that and, help obviously shape his body in the gym as well as his skill development on the floor. But, his impact and his ceiling is limited to him. The more he produces and performs on the court, the more opportunity we'll give him. And, I have extreme confidence in him. Same I do with Sam, just because they've come out of a conference like the ACC and able to make immediate impact.
Okay, and when it comes to, his position being, eligible and nominating for the 2024 draft, does that put any more pressure on, the minutes that he gets or that kind of thing, or is it the same approach with everyone else where you've got to earn your role?
Yeah, and I think everyone appreciates that work ethic mentality. So, we're going to have 3 guys that are going to declare for the 2024 draft. So, to create an environment where guys have similar ambition and want to, get the most out of their basketball, but being in an environment where they're competing against each other and help building that synergy and bond as a team to win games, all that's reflective, obviously, in the scaling process for NBA teams. So, he's physically gifted, and he's the prototype of what they want to see, and now they just want to see some transference on the court. If Bobby goes as I plan and as expected, he's going to get that.
Can you give us some insight into the conversations that you've had with Bobby? What has he said? What's his personality like? Does he know the other players on the team?
Oh, he's, we've done a Zoom. We actually had a Zoom with him and his mum, Anna. We've spoken via text weekly, if not daily, throughout this whole process. He's a basketball lifer. He enjoys his basketball. We've been talking about the NBA Finals, obviously, but even his approachability and charisma, he's going to be a fan favourite. I think he's going to fit well in our locker room. He's going to provide the banter and a bit of the fun, but he just is really humble for a guy that has the whole world in front of him. He's well grounded, and that's important, knowing that he's coming here to become a professional basketball player. And he's used to playing overseas. He's from Sweden, so he's been over in the States. So the transfer of from Sweden to America to Australia will be a smooth one for him, and we'll make him as comfortable as possible. But I can't speak highly of him. He's been very engaging, and that's what's obviously made the whole process too very rewarding, is because I think my level of excitement is only matched by his.